yesterday on the internet, we saw so many variations of why I'm leaving such and such.
This is, of course, after Greg Smith from Goldman Sachs
why am I
had the
leaving?
op-ed
Right.
piece.
Why am I leaving Starbucks? Why am I leaving my job as a, whatever? But on a serious note, I think Greg Smith. People are really enamored with the idea of this Howard Beale moment or this Jerry Maguire moment, where an executive, sees that his firm has become corrupt in some way, and he turns the tables on them by going out on his own and, publicly launching a broadside and saying, "I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm mad as hell." So I think we were all swept up in that yesterday, and it was very exciting and fun. But I think when you take a little bit closer at Greg Smith's story, you kind of see some holes in it. And it's not so much what he says about Goldman Sachs, which we all know has its problems. It has its issues in regards to how it treats customers. But these things have been very public for a long time. And another thing is that I'm surprised, for people who don't follow Wall Street, Goldman Sachs had a very significant change back in 1998 when it went public. It was a partnership, and it was very client-focused by reputation. But after the public offering, Goldman changed, and it became just like any other company, Kelsey. Profits and earnings became the central focus, and this is. It's important to know, Greg Smith joined the firm after that IPO. So this company was already in the middle of that transition. And even before the financial crisis, Goldman was always criticized for conflicts of interest and treating its clients shabbily. So I'm wondering, which Goldman Greg Smith really worked for. And, the guy is, only 33 years old, and maybe he was very idealistic when he came into the firm, like we all are when we go into our professions. And so I think it's important for people who are following this story to understand the whole context. It's not as if Goldman this year suddenly has decided that their clients are Muppets and they're just there to extract wealth from.
It's interesting though, he's worked there for 12 years and he said that at this moment it is more toxic than he has ever known it to be. And here we are a few years beyond sort of the depths of the recession and the crisis when they were so criticized and written about, and we've all know what they've been sort of the stuff that's been written and that kind of thing about Goldman Sachs. So it's an interesting time, I would say, for him to kind of come out and say publicly, I can't take this anymore. It's just not the firm I worked for.
Yeah, my guess is why the timing now is that Goldman, of course, is under severe pressure. It's not churning out the profits that it did for the last decade. They had a quarterly loss last year during one quarter. They've only had two. And I think the corporate Goldman has never had to worry about profits the way it has now because they are trying to redefine themselves, and this may be somewhere where Greg Smith is coming from, and maybe the reason why we're finding this letter, this op-ed, in March 2012, and not 2, 5, 10 years ago.